Oh yeah, welcome to episode 99 of Extra Butter. In this episode, The Hate You Give, get nothing but love at the Oscars, we guarantee it. Speaking of the Oscars, Melissa McCarthy takes a turn at a role much different than the past, also going for the Oscar gold, and Halloween. Nothing about Oscars, but lots about killing. We'll be talking about that and so much more on this special edition of Extra Butter. It's not that special. We're just going to talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. How does that happen? I get together every week and hang out with my friends doing a thing just like this.
Hey! Hey!
Look at that. Always spilling the popcorn, Mark.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us. First of all, roll call.
Steph Sanders, comedian Steph Sanders on Facebook and Twitter, and on Instagram it's SSand23.
Yep.
Ooh, well said. And I'm Kelly Savannah Deaton. You can find me at Kelly Savannah Deaton on all the socials.
She keeps it simple, and so do I. My name's Maria Gloria. You can find me at Maria Gloria with 2 A's.
My name's Marcus Allen. Complain about any of these knuckleheads right here at TV Marcus Allen. There you go.
By knuckleheads, he means himself.
Themselves, right.
All right, so let's talk about Venom. Venom crushing it at the box office. I don't think anybody thought it was going to, be first man.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea that Tom Hardy was going to carry this movie the way he has. And he actually kills it. He plays dual roles.
Yeah.
That
Love
voice is him, you guys. And he killed it.
Master bipolarism. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Maria, your thoughts?
I love the movie so much. I love to see him be silly. I've always seen him in really serious villainous roles. He does play a villain, but a good guy, but a villain, but funny.
Right.
Finally, he's funny.
Don't you like the jokes that they have with each
Yes.
other? Yeah, that's my favorite part.
When they're their little inner dialogue, that's like my favorite part of everything.
Yeah, you know what I love? Have you ever seen a cat that catches a mouse, and just before the mouse is dead, the cat just starts having fun batting it back and forth? That's what went down in this interview that's gone viral.
True.
Take a look. Sorry. Your director's leaning on you to bring some comedic moments that we haven't exactly seen you do before.
You mean I'm not funny?
I think you're extremely funny. I just haven't seen it on camera often.
Well, thanks for that, bud.
All right.
We laughed.
Well, you laid it out there, so I'll go ahead and say this.
You're not funny.
You are very funny.
Thank you.
Just know when you're trying to be.
All right, bud.
I've never seen you in movies be funny.
Oh, thanks.
No, I mean, your characters aren't funny.
That's okay, buddy. That's cool. Each to their
This
own.
is like the opposite of that Joe Pesci Goodfellas scene.
Yeah.
You're not funny. You mean I'm not here to amuse you? It's bizarre.
I've interviewed, like I said, I've interviewed pretty much every A-list actor, every Academy Award winner.
You don't have to show off about it, man.
I'm not dropping names.
Jesus Christ.
Back in your box.
Whoa, so you dropped something there,
We've met a few people
What's
ourselves, you know what I
Denzel
mean?
like?
There's a point.
Bloody
down.
rodeo geese.
Jesus.
None
We're in Hollywood
We
now,
may
aren't
not
we,
be
guys?
from here, right?
Just got here from London.
We
It's all
do
changed.
know what goes
I'm
on
just
here.
building
up. No, it's
Okay,
right,
you're
chill.
just building up your old press release.
No, I'm just saying.
Your
Saw
face.
you shrinking in that chair, Mark.
Physically seeing me getting smaller.
Yeah.
I wanted to fighting for you.
We're all
I was ready.
friends here.
Thank you.
That's
We're all
my
friends
thing.
here,
We're
yeah.
all
All right,
friends.
thanks for not pointing out the shrinkage. All right, it's time for a new segment. We're going to begin today for the very first time. It's called Ask an Usher.
That's right.
Woo! Yeah. A normal, ordinary employee of the
Yay.
theater. Think about how many movies they probably sit in on. Robert Antonio, say hi to everybody.
Hello.
All right, so what are your thoughts on Venom?
Amazing. Tom Hardy nailed the Eddie Brock role.
Yeah.
Venom actually has his size.
Yeah.
Not like that Spider-Man 3 movie.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't wait for the next one.
Yep.
Oh, all the symbiotes that they had in there, the story, the jokes. So amazing. So worth seeing it multiple times in the theater.
Yeah.
Like, that's what kind of movie this is.
So you really think there's gonna be a sequel?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I can't remember his name. The dude from Cheers is supposed to be Carnage.
Woody
Woody
Harrelson.
Harrelson,
Yeah.
Hey, because of that, I started watching Cheers again.
Nice.
It comes
The
full
classic.
Good plug.
I was
Good
gonna say, what were
stuff.
you, 2 years old when Cheers was on? What are you talking Cheers?
I love
Again.
Cheers.
You
For the
like
first time.
vintage shows, Mark.
Yeah, okay,
Hey,
all
I
right.
like good
plug,
shows.
good
Hey,
plug.
thank
I
you
like
very much
good
for a very
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
inaugurated Ask an Usher.
Yeah,
Technically,
thank
I don't
you,
know if they're
Robert.
called Usher. Have you ever walked someone to their seat?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
hey,
they're
hey,
ushers.
hey,
All right.
I do it all.
There you
Cashiers,
go.
Ushers, cafes.
Multifaceted.
All right.
I love
Love
this.
it.
And I love the word
Oh,
symbiosis.
thank you.
I love that word.
Hey,
Thanks, man.
Hey,
Right?
Rocketeer, classic movies.
There you go.
I love that.
Rocket.
You need a Cheers pin now, too.
Right? I need that.
Rocket. Yeah,
Thanks,
that's when
Norm.
Disney was calling themselves Touchtone back in the day. I don't think we should bring anybody else back but that guy from now
Yeah,
on.
it's pretty good.
All right, switching gears to something a little more serious. The Hate You Give is one of those movies that, it informs you. It makes the world a better place for just being out there, and it's going to go on to be nominated for all kinds of Academy Awards.
Oh, yeah.
It might not be the kind of movie you think, let's get a sitter and go see The Hate You Give. You need to see this movie, though.
It is a very powerful movie, and it has a narrative that unfortunately we keep seeing every single day. For people that don't know at home, it's about a young girl who's finding herself, and her childhood friend actually gets shot and killed by a white policeman. And so that's unfortunate. We see this all the time. So it is so relevant that this movie is coming out right now. And it's very sad, but people need to see it.
Well, they made it entertaining too. The social commentary was necessary and needed, and it's poignant for today, but it made it actually a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
So it was actually good to watch, a great storyline, and it touched on many different things in one movie. So
Oh, yeah.
You know, you make a good point, and I've been saying that a lot. There are 4 movies that have this in the plot line this year that make a big difference. You got Blind Spotting that lit it off, and I think with that movie, I made basically your point. I said a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. These are very hard topics, but if you make it, I don't know if it's appropriate to say an entertaining movie about that subject, but make the movie engaging.
It is engaging.
It is,
That's
and
the word.
the cast has even said that the comedic parts, there aren't a lot, but the ones that are in there definitely resonate with a lot of people. So it makes it is an engaging movie. That's what's important.
There is some comedic relief, but it does send the message, which I think they did a really good job at balancing that out.
Do you guys agree? We might not be talking about this movie if it had not been sold as well as Amandla brings it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Totally agree.
Her performance gives me chills.
That's what I say, great acting.
The trailer gave me chills. The trailer gave me chills.
We talked to Amandla on the set. Take a look.
When I read it, I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before. The way that this black girl is characterized with so much heart and depth and nuance. Her experiences are really tragic, but they're so relevant. She has the experience of code switching, which is something that I feel like all black people have to do nowadays, and it's really cool to see it being addressed, I feel like, for the first time in media, because she goes to this white private school filled with very privileged kids who don't spend a lot of time around people of color, but she's grown up in the hood with her black family, and so she's constantly navigating having to almost split herself into 2 parts in order to fit into both worlds.
Go see that movie.
Absolutely.
Even if you haven't thought about going to see the movie, we're making you think about it right now. So go see that movie?
Go
See that movie, definitely. Definitely.
What are you waiting for? Technically, wait until this show's over, then go see that movie.
Yes, but do see that movie.
Of course.
Indeed. Coming up in a moment, do you ever wonder what crazy things took place in the world before the purge could possibly happen? I think The Oath is the step that takes us in that direction. This dark comedy, and Ike Barinholtz joins us next. Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter, episode 99. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're talking about a movie that is defying all genres. Kelly, you did the deep research on this one, so what is The Oath?
I did. So it stars Ike Barinholtz and Tiffany Haddish, their husband and wife. And there is a nationwide oath being put in place that you basically sign away your rights, and if you sign it, you pledge your oath to the president, and anything he says, you're gonna follow.
Okay, raise your hand if you've had awkward discussions around the table anytime over the last couple of years about politics. Anybody? Anybody?
We only talk about religion and weight in my family.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. But let's talk about
her.
Ike for a moment. Why is he great?
Comedic timing. His timing is impeccable. As a comedian, I just enjoy his timing, the lines he has, and the person that he has around him with the other lines. It just creates some magical scenes.
You know, normally it's hard to get actors to jump through and do a dog and pony show when you're talking to them, but you got Ike to do something.
I had to ease him into it. Yeah, because he's known to do impressions.
Yeah?
And I never want to be one of those people that's like, dance, show me, you know, like, but I had to, and he gave me a whole plethora of incredible things. Take a look.
If I was running for president, I would, my mission would be to try to bring America back to being civil. And I would also force the best basketball players in the world to play me, because that's all I really care about, is basketball.
Thank you, Obama. Thank you, Ike. That was good. I wish I could do an impression to just pull out at Thanksgiving.
We both have the same Midwest kind of tilt, but his is a little bit cooler than mine. I mean, normally I talk like this. He's got a little bit more gravitas.
Do we have a Trump impression in there hidden?
Look, here's the thing about San Francisco. I love it. I love rice roti. Okay, I do. It's the San Francisco treat. It's delicious. I eat it every night with my steak. It's so good.
That guy is brilliant. You probably don't know his name. If I were to walk through the mall with his headshot and no one would know his name, but they'd go, "Oh, I love that guy."
Yeah.
In a year, everybody's going to know Ike Barinholtz by name.
Oh,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Tiffany Haddish could have easily taken the Tiffany Haddish train where she jumped on every script that has a character similar to the character before, but in this, she is so different than you've ever seen her, and she's the strongest actor in this movie.
I applaud her for that. I loved it that she took this role and took that risk, and she did an excellent
She's showing her range.
Yes.
So good for her.
Yeah.
If you are conservative, you need to see this movie. And if you're liberal, you need
to
to
see
see
this
this movie. You're going to dig it.
And if you're from Sweden and neutral, you need to see this
If
movie.
you're a human being,
You need to see,
you need
this,
to see this
movie.
movie.
If your heart beats.
Everybody.
See it. There you go.
Everybody.
Everybody's
Lottie-dottie,
seen it.
everybody.
And the same way we talk about Tiffany Haddish switching gears, coming up now, a movie with Melissa McCarthy where she's doing the same thing, way against type. The movie is Can You Ever Forgive Me? And again, Kelly, we put you on the test for this one.
You did. Melissa McCarthy plays a woman. I've never heard of her. Her name's Lee Israel. Anybody? Do you know?
No.
She was a New York biographer in the 80s and 90s. She had really popular books, New York Times bestseller books. Then her career took a downward spiral. She didn't have any money, so what did she do? She came across a literary letter from, Dorothy Parker, Ernest Hemingway, and she started embellishing them at first. Then she started to actually forge them completely and sell them for top dollar. And Melissa McCarthy, you don't even recognize that it's her in this role. She becomes Lee Israel.
What I love at the essence of this is what would you do to make a buck?
Yes.
For me, I was an electrician's helper one time and had to crawl through tunnels with wires dangling in my teeth, risking my life just to make a buck. What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I have done the side holding and dancing with the earpods in and doing the dance for waffles. Waffle chicken and waffles.
Show us. Oh.
There you go.
Ooh, get that
look.
side.
We're drawing a crowd. Oh, it's going nuts.
I want chicken and
They're all
waffles.
coming out of the
And you loved it more when I did the dance and chicken and waffles.
Now I want chicken and waffles.
They would
so
stop
much.
for me.
All right, so I
did
love
it.
that you asked Melissa McCarthy the same exact question. Her answers shocked me.
I love that she needed the money. She created a job for herself. Like a little bit of criminal activity,
sure.
a lot of it, but she got through it. So what was the craziest or just, quite frankly, worst job you've ever had?
Worst job, I would have to say, goes to either I shucked oysters.
Shucked oysters.
Without gloves or an
Ooh.
oyster shucking knife. Somebody just handed me like a random paring knife. And by the end of the day, I was like, I'm going to go to the hospital because my hands were just like a mess. He's like, are you coming back tomorrow? And I was like, no, I'm literally going to the hospital. Like, I've damaged myself. And
this
then,
is a problem.
Like, truly, I literally was like, see you in the emergency room. That, and I also tried to sell photo packages for like a company of like, do you need a family photo pack? And you had to read like a 2-page thing. I was like, can I just shorten it to see if people are, they're like, read it exactly. And it was 6 or 8 of us in a hotel room sitting on a bed with a phone on our lap.
Oh, you'd call them?
Yeah, cold call, and we were just handed a phone book.
And you just
And
go,
we each got a letter. It was not great, and I did not sell one package.
It's okay. You had good experience with the oysters, and now you're here, right? So.
Yeah.
What I love about her is she's been so successful for what, a decade now? We've known who Melissa McCarthy is, and I love that she had roots like that where she had to actually, she essentially, I think she was intimating, like she shucked oysters till her hands bled. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
Yeah, me
I
either.
didn't either.
So this movie, Can You Ever Forgive Me? It's only playing in select theaters. You might have to dig for it until next week. It opens wide everywhere. All right, coming up in a moment, a movie that's starting out wide on over 3,000 screens, Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis back at it. Why you have to see this movie if you like getting scared. Next. Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter. Tis that time of year where the good scary movies come out. Oh, they're doing the keyboard. They're doing the keyboard for Halloween. The Halloween theme sounds like this. Remember, there's a keyboard, then there's a low end. The keyboard sounds like... Yes, and they've used the original score.
We nailed it, guys.
Good job. Yep, we got that.
Nailed it.
Effective. Thanks. Nice work. Nice work, team. Nice work. Nice work. Nice work. We'll be going
Well-
on tour. All right, Jamie Lee Curtis is back. This movie produced by Jason Blum, who knows a little something about scaring people.
Just a little bit.
And I can't begin to tell you, as a child who grew up with the original Halloween, it was my first R-rated movie.
What year was that? You said 1978.
I was underage when I saw it. I will only say that much. However, this movie brings it back to that, and also adapts it for a new audience. What I love about it, though, you're going to see a lot of Easter eggs that pay tribute to the original Halloween, if you're a fan of that. And I've talked to Jamie Lee Curtis over the years, and I was so excited to catch up with her.
Now, Mark, my man, I think you got a little history with Jamie Lee Curtis. Right?
Yeah, no, Janet Leigh is her mom, right?
Okay.
And
I love that.
Stockton, California, that's where Janet Leigh is from, and so I got hired by the mayor's office to host this big thing at the square, and like she came up to me on live TV and said some nice things about it.
Wait, what'd she say?
Nice
It
thing.
was a long time ago. She said, "You're cute."
Oh.
Are you blushing?
I was
You're
in,
blushing.
I was in good light wearing the right kind of makeup. You know how that goes, right? So I talked to her, and I think she knew me from that or not in this interview. Take a look. All right, so people always ask me, who is the kindest female star you've ever talked to? And in a quarter century of doing this, it's always you. No, you.
My mother.
Well, I haven't talked to your mom. I just talked to you.
I just drove up her street.
Oh, you did?
And my dad's. I made a left on Janet Leigh and made a right on Tony Curtis.
So I was there when we dedicated the square, and you promised you would come back. I love that you honored that.
Of course.
And speaking of coming back, I'm in Toronto less than a week ago. I'm watching a midnight movie, and I said, there's no way in hell Jamie Lee's going to stay for the end of this. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, you come out on stage.
I haven't been up that late since 1976.
But you were the spryest person on stage.
I was spry.
What should we look forward to with the new Halloween? What are you most proud of?
It's intense, and it's beautiful. So it's super intense and beautiful.
You just described your movie the way I describe you everywhere. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for
Beautiful person.
Aw, nice hug from Jamie Lee Curtis. A lot better ending than the Venom interview, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm not sure Tom Hardy would have hugged me. And technically, I hugged Jamie Lee. I don't think she was hugging me, initiating me.
She hugged you back,
Is that why
She
we
did
heard,
hug me back.
Is that why we heard security, security?
Yeah,
Looking for her
exactly.
publicist?
I was escorted off the Universal Studios premises at that very moment. All right, so Jason Blum also said I was cute. Not really, but we talked a little bit about his movies. Jason Blum is almost like John Carpenter. Back in the day, if you said John Carpenter, people would know you were getting into a scary movie. Jason Blum, Blumhouse production. Name a favorite Blumhouse production movie.
Hands down, Insidious.
Ooh, I love that. And Paranormal Activity.
It started it all.
You guys, The Visit.
Oh, that's
exactly.
That one's hilarious.
Going to Grandma's house will never be the same again.
No, they don't offer you just cookies in that movie.
No.
Reminds me of my grandma.
That's true. So I had a chance to talk to him about some of that. He is absolutely the next godfather of horror. And I say the next because you're not old enough to be the godfather yet. So you're not quite soon. Right.
A couple
you're
more
not
years.
quite John Carpenter yet.
Not yet. Yeah, 3 years.
So I just saw you in Toronto a week ago. How does it make you feel that one of the most respected film festivals in the world is loving your movie above anything else?
It felt great. There was a lot of trepidation about Halloween, and there were a lot of people who were ready to pounce on us. And I was really happy with how the movie was received. I was very proud of it. We worked really hard on it, and I feel very good about it.
What was the horror movie that you saw as a little kid flickering up on the big screen and you said, yeah, that's what I wanted to do?
Well, that didn't happen to me, but the horror movie that scared me the most as a kid was Friday the 13th. I was traumatized by the movie. I couldn't see a horror movie for about 3 or 4 years after that, maybe longer.
And what's the secret to making the perfect horror movie?
The secret to making a perfect horror movie is not think about the horror. The secret to making a perfect horror is don't focus on the horror, focus on the acting, the characters, the script, and if those things are great, the horror will come.
So yeah, you guys, the premiere I was talking about, I went to a midnight screening at the Toronto International Film Festival. It was packed, line wrapped around the city to go see this movie at midnight, and the entire cast, like I said, Jamie showed up, and even Danny McBride. And if this movie is funny at parts, and I don't want to plot spoil, but there's a part with a kid in this movie that might be the most effective, funny horror movie moment ever, and it reeks of Danny McBride because he wrote that part. All right, coming up in a moment, if you don't want to hang out in a swanky movie theater like we're in right now, by all means, why don't you stay home and watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, the newest Marvel sensation, comes to your home. We'll tell you why you should get it next. Hey, welcome back. It's Extra Butter. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're not coming to a swanky theater to get fresh popcorn, pop it at home and enjoy Ant-Man, the newest Marvel movie headed to your home. Digital delivery. I suggest Blu-ray because this movie is glorious, and its biggest star, San Francisco.
Oh yeah, they really did that lady some justice.
Yes,
she really,
did.
she looks gorgeous in this movie. But also Evangeline Lilly, can we get into her?
The Wasp opens up a can of it. She is amazing.
And this is the first time a woman has been featured in the title of a Marvel movie. So that's
I'm
cool.
telling you
That's
guys,
pretty
the
cool.
future is female. I'm telling you.
Guess what I talked to her about?
What did you talk to her about?
Stuff. Did you, at any points, did they have to go, cut, stop laughing?
Yes.
Did you blow takes?
No, but they wouldn't cut. They just let me like get my together again because I was always laughing. And sometimes I'd have to go to Peyton and I would have to tell him, that laughter was not Evangeline, that was Hope. So like, keep that. Like, that's Hope who's deeply in love with Scott, and she can't help herself even though she's serious and she's focused.
Yeah.
Like, he makes her laugh, and that's why she loves him. So don't take that out, and I was so happy to see that he didn't.
I love this because Infinity War was so intense. This Ant-Man and Wasp just made it so over the top.
You needed like a light little...
Yes, I needed it. It was great. Great movie.
However, there's a moment in this movie that you think, oh, it's going to be a silly, fun romp, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then all of a sudden it touches on, you know, the thing in the deal that I can't remember? I had trouble talking about that with Paul Rudd, too. Take a look.
There is a moment in this movie that I do not want to destroy, but it's like one of the most profound Marvel movie moments ever. The entire audience goes, what? Jumps from their seat.
I think I know what you're talking about.
How do you protect these things?
Well, we talk around them like we're doing now.
Oh, just talk about the thing in the deal?
Yeah,
like
and everybody was like, wait, what?
Hey guys, thanks for joining us for episode 99 of Extra Butter. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, 99. Extra Butter TV. Follow me at TV Marcus Allen.
At Maria Gloria.
99 episodes, but Kelly Savanity.
Comedian Steph Sanders.
There you go, and join us for our very special 100th episode. Guess what we have planned for our 100th?
We're going to Paris!
We're going to Disneyland!
I don't know.
You'll have to wait and see.
Disneyland.
Have a good one.